If your keto or carnivore progress just hit a brick wall, whether it's day 21 or year 2, you're not broken. You're likely entering the shutdown.
I thought I was failing. I thought that I needed a cheat meal or some kind of a miracle shot, but it turns out I just needed to refill a tank I didn't even know was empty.
Today, we're going to talk about the Keto Shutdown and exactly how to restart your engine in just 48 hours.
Hey, what's up, family? I'm Rachel.
And I'm Joe.
And we are two crazy ketos.
Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that almost every one of us has dealt with, but very few people actually talk about this correctly. We call it the Keto Carnivore Shutdown.
This is that moment where everything just stops, and it can be incredibly frustrating if you don't know why it's happening. Now, we're going to do a simplified version here on YouTube of this topic, but if you want the deep, raw, unfiltered, deep dive version of this topic, make sure you check out the 2KK Uncensored podcast that goes along with this video.
So on our podcast, we're actually talking about the salt lie and why your doctor may be keeping you stalled. And you can find our podcast on any of your favorite podcast platforms like Apple, Spotify, Google, even right here on YouTube. But for now, I really want to get into why your progress may be hitting a wall. See, if you've been on keto or carnivore for a while, or even if you're just 3 weeks in, you've likely hit a brick wall at some point.
Now, maybe you're having issues with the scale not moving, or maybe your sleep seems trashed, or maybe you feel flat if you're attempting to work out at the gym.
Most people will call this a stall, but we're going to call it a shutdown because your body has not failed and your metabolism's not broken. You have simply run out of the specific resources that your engine needs to keep burning fat.
And believe us, we have been there. We've made the mistakes so you don't have to. From drinking way too much coffee to accidentally salting ourselves into a 10-pound weight gain in just 48 hours. Today, we're going to show you exactly how to identify the shutdown and, more importantly, how to restart the engine without losing your mind.
So to understand why you feel like garbage around week 3 on keto, we really need to look at insulin. So when you cut carbohydrates, your insulin levels drop. And this is really, really good for fat loss. But insulin also signals your kidneys to hold on to sodium. So when the signal drops, your kidneys go into a flush mode. They dump water, and that water takes electrolytes with it. And we're specifically talking about sodium, potassium, and magnesium. By day 21 on keto, your internal mineral tank is now bone dry. So now you're caught in the middle. Your body is done burning sugar, but because your minerals are depleted, your cells can't efficiently transition into burning fat.
And this is what we call being metabolically homeless. Your brain interprets that mineral shortage as a massive hunger signal. This is why people fail. They think that they're hungry for carbs, so they eat a cheat meal in an attempt to feel better. The carbs hold water, which temporarily stops the symptoms, but it completely kills your progress. You don't need a donut. You need to refill the tank so your body actually has the electricity it needs to burn your own body fat.
And we actually see this all the time in the community. People will hit a wall and they feel like garbage. And instead of having a cheat day, they think the answer is more fat. Then they start doing fat fasts or literally eating sticks of butter and fat bombs so that they can get the scale to move or get their energy back.
But here's the trap. You can't grease the gears if there's no electricity in the wires. If your electrolytes are tanked, all the extra fat is just fuel that your body doesn't have the spark to actually use. You aren't stalled because you're low on butter. You're stalled because you're low on voltage. Without sodium and potassium, your cells can't process that fat efficiently.
Seriously, put down the sticks of butter. You look crazy. You're literally trying to lubricate a machine that doesn't have a power cord plugged in.
We get it though, Joe, because we have totally been there. And when you're desperate to feel better, you reach for the nearest keto-friendly fuel that you can find, butter. It's a frustrating place to be, but there's a much better solution than just eating more fat.
Now, we know what some of you guys are thinking right now. Well, I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm way past day 21, so this video does not apply to me. But here's the reality. The shutdown doesn't care how long you've been on keto. Whether you are a beginner or you are a seasoned veteran on keto and carnivore, your body is still subject to the laws of biology. If you're fat adapted, you are still flushing out minerals every single day.
Exactly. And in fact, in some ways, it's actually easier for veterans to hit the wall because we get comfortable. We stop being as diligent as we were in the beginning. We think that we're cured, but your mineral tank is like a gas tank. It doesn't matter how good the car is. If you don't refill it, it's going to stop running eventually. This can happen to anyone at any time if you're not paying attention.
That's me. I'm the perfect example of this. We've been doing keto for 9 years. And just a couple of weeks ago, I actually got really lazy and I went about 3 or 4 days without really staying on top of my electrolytes. By day 4, I felt like absolute garbage. My energy was completely gone. All of my joints were aching and I woke up looking puffy like I gained 10 pounds. I felt like I'd eaten a loaf of bread the night before.
I had to look at him and say, Joe, drink your electrolytes. You know better. We should not be here. You know better. He finally listened, slammed a double dose, and by the next morning, he was a different person. All that puffiness was gone. His energy was back through the roof, and he was finally firing on all cylinders again. Even after nearly a decade, we still have to respect the biology.
And that leads us to the holes in the bucket. See, it's not just about what you're missing, it's about the things that you are actively consuming that are pulling the plug and draining your tank from the bottom up. For most of us, that hole is something that we consider to be a staple of our morning routine. I'm talking about coffee.
Whew. And I know that a strict carnivore is probably going to say, Rachel, my coffee is black though. No sweeteners, no creamers, no junk. But here's the hard truth. It really doesn't matter if you're just drinking black coffee.
Even if your coffee is as black as charcoal, the caffeine itself is a really potent diuretic. It specifically triggers the kidneys to excrete sodium and potassium.
I ain't throwing no shade because I have been known to drink 2 full pots of black coffee, especially during an extended fast. And I learned the hard way that caffeine is a mineral tax. If you're already in a shutdown where your insulin is low, that black coffee is pulling the drain plug on a tub that's already half empty.
And it's not just about the ingredients in the cup. It's about the chemical reaction in your body. See, caffeine creates a spike in cortisol, which then depletes magnesium. This creates a wired but tired feeling. Your brain is very caffeinated, but your cells are literally starving for minerals that they need to create energy. Now, Rachel and I actually have a rule. We don't touch coffee or caffeine until we have preloaded with electrolytes. It stops the mid-morning crash and it ensures that the caffeine doesn't rob our fuel tank.
Now, our favorite way to do that is to actually put the electrolytes inside of the coffee. We like using coffee-friendly flavors of electrolytes like caramel vibes and Coco Loco flavors from Salty because they give us those essential minerals right at the start. It flavors the coffee and it actually gives that little hint of sweetness from the stevia without the blood sugar spike. So it can turn your morning coffee into a tool for your metabolism rather than a drain on it.
Now, you can also go too far in the other direction, and I've learned this the hard way too. So at one point, I was doing a 72-hour fast, and I don't like water. So I was drinking nothing but hot water that I was putting Redmond Organic seasoned salt in because it honestly tastes just like chicken soup.
It's delicious.
I really loved it. So much so that that's all I drank. But now I was over salting and I wasn't balancing it with any plain water or potassium. So over the course of 2 days, I gained 10 pounds when I was fasting from food.
Fasting.
My body was holding onto every drop of fluid so that it could manage the sodium levels. But as soon as I drank some plain water and I balanced my minerals, that 10 pounds whooshed out overnight.
And that's the balance trap. Veterans get lazy with their ratios. As we get older, especially those of us over 40, Our body needs a very precise ratio of minerals to move that stubborn body fat. And if you aren't diligent, or if you're only focusing on salt and ignoring the potassium and the magnesium, your cells will hold on to fluid as a defense mechanism. I mean, it's trying to help you. This masks your fat loss on the scale and leaves you feeling soft and sluggish instead of lean and energized. So what are we looking for in an electrolyte? Well, we see people making the mistake of only consuming salt, which leads to bloat, or they use something like Dr. Berg's electrolyte powder, which is 1,000 milligrams of potassium, but almost no sodium. So electrolytes work in a pump. Sodium sits outside of your cells and potassium sits inside. If you don't have the right ratio of both, that pump literally stops working. You can't just megadose one and ignore the other.
So you should be consuming on keto about a 2-to-1 ratio of sodium to potassium. So on keto, you want to have somewhere between 3,000 to 5,000 milligrams of sodium per day and about 1,500 to 3,000 milligrams of potassium.
And don't forget magnesium, because you need about 300 to 500 milligrams a day of that. Magnesium is the relaxer that prevents cramps and heart palpitations.
And we have a very strong preference for powdered electrolytes that you're going to mix with water. See, we're not really big fans of pills or concentrated drops, but really only for one reason. See, water chases salt. If you consume a high dose of electrolytes, but you don't have enough fluid, your body can't flush out excess. It becomes trapped. And that's exactly what leads to stubborn water weight. By mixing your electrolytes in a large bottle of water, you're now ensuring that your body has the vehicle that it needs to process the minerals and keep your whole system moving.
Exactly. You need the water to help the salt do its job. Now, we use a variety of brands, and we have a discount link for all of them down in the description down below. We use Salty, we use LMNT, we use Redmond Real Light, and Salter. All of them are fantastic, high quality choices. We use all 4 of these, but the one that we reach for the most is definitely Salty. We love the flavors, it mixes instantly, and it actually has a higher concentration of potassium and magnesium than most of the others. Any of these brands, like we said in the description down below, they're all a great choice, but Salty just happens to be our daily go-to for those reasons.
Now, we do need to address a question that we get a lot. People will ask us, well, my doctor told me that I'm not allowed to consume potassium. Now, first of all, we are not doctors, nurses, or health professionals. You really should always consult your medical professional. But if your doctor gives you that warning, I want you to ask them this. Can I have a banana? Can I eat an avocado? Or maybe can I have spinach?
Because here's the banana math. A medium banana has about 420 milligrams of potassium. A whole avocado has around 700 milligrams. And half a cup of cooked spinach has over 400 milligrams. So if your doctor says it's fine for you to eat those whole foods, then you are likely fine with the electrolytes that we've mentioned, because they're providing those same minerals that your body expects from real food, just without the 15 grams of sugar like there is in a medium banana.
Now, if you're in a shutdown right now, we actually have a 48-hour restart plan. Step 1, we want you to simplify. Put the fat fasting and the cheat meals away. I mean, seriously, you look crazy. For the next 2 days, we want you to focus on high-quality protein and consistent hydration. And by hydration, we're talking about water with electrolytes, not just drinking water. So your body is really stressed right now. So it needs a predictable environment to find its balance again.
So step 1 is simplify. Step 2 is double up. For the next 48 hours, double your electrolyte intake. Take at least 1 full dose of electrolytes, powdered electrolytes, in at least 20 ounces of water first thing in the morning. Do this before you touch that coffee, Rachel. Then take another full dose about an hour before bedtime. This is going to help calm your nervous system, lower that cortisol spike that Joe was talking about, and help you finally get some deep restorative sleep.
But there is a really big caveat we have to mention. Don't make every single beverage an electrolyte drink.
No.
I know. I'm the guy who hates plain water. It's very tempting to replace soda with water and electrolytes because they honestly taste really good, especially grape. But If every single thing that you drink has salt in it, you're gonna end up exactly where I was during my 72-hour fast. Bloated and then gaining weight because your body has no plain water to chase salt with.
Exactly. So do not joe this thing. Do not overdo it. You need to alternate. Drink your 2 electrolyte doses, but make sure the rest of your fluid, whether it's plain water, maybe it's unsweetened tea, maybe it's your coffee, that all needs to stay plain. You need that free water to help your kidneys flush out the excess and actually keep your system clean.
Once you feel your energy return and that whoosh of trapped water leaves your system, now you can go back to your normal maintenance dose. Now, we've kept this really simple here for the main channel, but we honestly have a much bigger and honestly much more controversial conversation about why the standard advice on salt is very dangerous, like on the border of killing people like us.
So don't forget, we're going uncensored on the podcast to talk about the salt lies and the politics of the RDA. If you want the raw, unfiltered, deep dive version of this topic, meet us over at the 2KK Uncensored Podcast. The link is in the description. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button to help us get to our 100,000 subscriber goal. That's the goal for this year.
Now, that's going to be the end of this video. If you like seeing videos like this, please do us a favor. Take a look at the video we have linked right over there. Also, make sure you take a look at the most recent video that I'm going to put right over here.
But whether you head this way or you head this way, don't forget to head this way. Subscribe to our channel and click the little bell icon. And that way, every single time we upload a new video, you'll be alerted to it.
Until next time.
Bye.